My dear students, would you like to be a medical detective? I have no doubt that you will love to. So, welcome to the enthralling world of forensic medicine. You must have heard about Sherlock Holmes, a very famous detective who uses his medical skills to solve a crime. I am sure you must have watched TV serials like CID and CSI during your childhood. You must have marveled how easily the forensic doctor as Dr. Salunke in CID gathers various clues and helps in solving murder mysteries in the blink of an eye. You might have been fascinated by all those tidbits, and by that I mean you would have been told how such a tiny and trivial clue could lead to the unraveling of the whole case. But my dear students, whatever you have seen on the screen as well as read in the novels is far from reality. In fact, it is just the contrast. It really is much more difficult to collect, analyze, interpret and correlate those tiny little clues which help in the crime investigation. So, let me lead you through the wilderness of these complexities which will aid in the better understanding of the subject. I extend my hand forth in taking you on the journey through the maze of prudence of forensic medicine, retaining the ground realities and reviewing the mirrors of blossoms in forensic intricacies. So, now let us start the introduction of the subject and its allied branches. I will begin with a quote. Dead body is extremely eloquent and informative provided one has the patience to listen to it. Hello students, I am Professor Dr. Adarsh Kumar from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. Today, I bring you the first learning episode in BSc Forensic Science of paper Forensic Medicine, in which I will give you a brief introduction of the subject of forensic medicine, definition, history, development of forensic medicine in India and branches of forensic medicine. Also, I will give you a gist of important topics which I will be discussing with you in this paper on forensic medicine. Let us now look the modules which we will be covering today. Module 1 will be the introduction to forensic medicine, module 2 will be the history of forensic medicine, module 3 will be the development of forensic medicine in India, module 4 will be the branches of forensic medicine and module 5 will be the conclusion. I will begin with a quote. If the law has made you a witness, remain a man of science. You have no victim to avenge, no guilty or innocent person to ruin or save. You should bear your testimony within the limits of science, as said by very famous French medicologist Braudel around 1 century ago. In order to understand the subject of forensic medicine, it is important to understand first the literal meaning of the word forensic medicine and then gradually take deeper insight into the various aspects of this immensely interesting branch of medical science. The word forensic has been derived from the Latin word forensis, which literally means something related to a forum. In ancient Rome, forums were the meeting places for the people of responsibility, where all the civic and legal matters were discussed upon and various problems were solved. Thus, the word forensic means any issues pertaining to the court of law. The word medicine has wide implications when used next to the word forensic, relating to using of the vast medical knowledge in solving medico legal problems like finding out the exact cause of death or time since of death, etc., etc. Thus, forensic medicine is the branch of medical science which deals with the application of medical knowledge to aid in the administration of justice. Forensic medicine also was previously known as medical jurisprudence, which is derived from the Latin word jurisprudentia. Juris means law and prudence means knowledge, meaning the study, knowledge or science of law. Now, let us see the current definition of forensic medicine. Forensic medicine is an application of medical knowledge for the purpose of law, both civil and criminal, for example, in cases of assault, vehicular accidents and likewise. The forensic expert can opine if the said injuries have been caused due to vehicular accident or not, duration of the injuries, nature of injuries and the cause of etc., and so on so forth. Similarly, in cases of sexual assault, the forensic expert is able to give opinion that whether the said act has been committed or not, the type of injuries and the duration of the act, injuries etc. The forensic expert has to possess the basic knowledge of other branches of medical sciences, so as to solve the problems related to medico legal issues. For example, in cases of anesthetic deaths, alleged medical negligence cases, criminal abortions and sudden death due to various causes. Thus, medical jurisprudence deal with the legal responsibilities of the physician with particular reference to those arising from the doctor-patient relationship, such as medical negligence cases, ethical conducts on the part of a doctor, professional misconducts, all these. To be precise, it deals with the legal aspects of the practice of medicine. Medical jurisprudence founds its chair in the year 1807 at the University of Edinburgh, first to be occupied by Andrew Duncan the Junior from year 1773 to 1832, who was a Scottish physician and professor at University of Edinburgh. Forensic medicine was also termed as a state medicine, which was recommended by Dr. Stanford Emerson Shell in 1949, who is referred as father of hygiene and health education in America, and was developed to regulate and guide the code of conduct of registered medical practitioners and to supervise the allied medical practice. Sometimes even the terminology legal medicine has also been applied while describing forensic medicine in various parts of the world. The eternal bond between the legal medicine and the world history can be traced back till before Christ's era, and how they have influenced the history not only in India, but also worldwide. At about 7th century BC, the Charak Samhita elaborately described regarding code of medical ethics, training duties, social status and privileges of a physician, including description of various poisons and the possible treatment. Even in earliest literature, the word mithya has been used to describe negligent treatment and has been used in Charak Samhita to describe the same. Sushrut Samhita used mithyopachara to describe improper conduct on the part of the physician. Manusmriti was laid down in 4th century BC by King Manu, who was considered as the lawgiver, where various laws were described, including punishment for offences like sexual assault etc. Manusmriti even recognized mental incapacity due to alcohol intoxication or old age or insanity. The Manusmriti, Kautilya's Arthashastram, Yagyavalkya's Smriti also has described regarding compensation given to victim in medical negligence cases as high as 1000 pana, that is the silver coins. Kautilya's Arthashastra defined various torture guidelines and methods of torture of a convict as well as regulation of medical practice. In fact, India's Machiavelli described numerous topics including dark occult arts, foreign policies etc. The name of Imhotep, who was the Grand Wazir, Chief Justice and Chief Physician of King Djoser of Egypt during 27th century BC, is considered a very shining example because of his enacted rules for medical practice. In fact, the oldest medico legal code goes as far back as 2200 BC and is described under the code of Hammurabi. In Jewish tradition, dead bodies were respected and they believed in the fact that handling a dead body makes a man unclean for days. Emphasis was given on the prompt and respectful burial of the body. Laws were implemented by the rabbis who forbid post-mortem dissection of the body. But however, as per records, at around 100 AD, students of Rabbi Ismail obtained the body of a young harlot and boiled off the soft tissues in order to count the number of bones present in the body. Autopsies were not permitted in the Orthodox Jewish community until the late 20th century. When Knesset, the Israeli parliament passed law permitting autopsy under strict limited conditions. First medico legal autopsy was done in Bologna, Italy in the year 1302 by Bartolomeo di Varignana. The first book on forensic medicine was published in 1602 by an Italian physician, Fortunato Fedele. But Paolo Zacchia, who was principal physician to Pope Innocent X, Alexander VII and an expert before Rota Romana, the court of appeal, his works are considered the greatest and described in Questions Medico Legalis. This was published in 7 volumes spanning over a period of 1621 to 1635 along with 2 additional volumes in 1666 at Amsterdam. Until the beginning of 19th century, his works were considered to be pioneer. Paolo Zacchia is considered as father of legal medicine as well as father of forensic psychiatry. Around the end of 16th century, autopsies were generally practiced in medico legal cases, and in 18th century professorships were founded in legal medicine by the state of Germany. In India, the first recorded medico legal autopsy was done by Dr. Edward Buckley on the afternoon of 28th August 1693 over the dead body of Mr. Wheeler, a member of council and chief justice of Shaltry in Chennai, erstwhile Madras. India's first medical school was established in Kolkata in the year 1822 and the same was converted into a college in 1835 along with the inception of Madras Medical College. Afterwards, it was same college where first chair of professor of medical jurisprudence was established in year 1857. The history of forensic medicine remains incomplete without involving toxicology, as it is one of the widely studied sub branch of the subject. Primitive man was aware of natural poisons from animals and plants and widely used them on his weapon. The history of poisons is described in the ancient Indian Shastras as well as Egyptian papyri, Babylonian, Hebrew and Greek records. Menes Pharaoh 3000 BC is said to have studied many poisons. The Ebers Papyrus 1500 BC contains information extending back many centuries. Atharva Veda again in 1500 BC described poisons. The Italians brought the art of poisoning to its zenith prior to the Renaissance period and extended into that period. The first medical school was established in Calcutta in 1822, that was later on rehabilitated into a medical college in year 1835. Afterwards, medical school was established in Madras in 1835, which was transformed into a college in 1850. In Bombay, first medical college was established in the year 1850. In 1857, the first distinct lead in medical jurisprudence was created in Madras Medical College. Dr. Urgu Hart, a private practitioner and coroner of Madras, was the first professor. The books that were followed were brought from England. The popular English author books were Taylor's Principles and Practice of Medical Jurisprudence. The first book was written in 1856 by Dr. Norman Shavers, followed by Dr. I. B. Lyon in 1888, entitled Medical Jurisprudence for India, and afterwards Legal Medicine in India and Toxicology by Major Cooley's Berry in 1902. Dr. Jai Singh P. Modi, lecturer at Agra Medical College and afterwards at Lucknow Medical College since 1918, was a leading medico legal expert from India. His first book, the Textbook of Medical Jurisprudence and Toxicology, was published in year 1920. The book turns out to be a widely held not only with medical students, but also among the lawyers and judges. The British rulers codified the criminal law in India in 1833. In 1860, the Indian Penal Code, that is IPC, came into existence, which succeeded all previous laws. In 1861, the Criminal Procedure Code, that is CRPC, came into force. These laws are being followed still today with certain amendments and modifications. Simultaneously, the procedure for crime investigation was outlined by the introduction of Indian Police Act, and the coroner system was applied only in metro cities of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, whereas the rest of the country followed the police inquest system. Afterwards, the coroner system was also abolished from whole country in year 1999. The practice of modern medicine was first regulated by the formation of provincial medical councils in 1912, according to which the medical practitioners were required to register themselves in the respective state medical councils. In 1916, the Indian Medical Degrees Act was passed to recognize the qualifications from recognized institutions and to penalize persons having false certificates to practice medicine. The Indian Medical Council Act was passed in the year 1933, and the Indian Medical Council was established to control the state medical councils and to regulate infirmity in medical education throughout the country. One of the greatest contributions India has made to modern criminology is dactylography, or the fingerprint system for the personal identification. Forensic medicine can be divided into a number of sub branches. Forensic pathology deals with morbid anatomy, mechanism of causation of injury and different aspects of death like asphyxial deaths and the related issues. Forensic psychiatry is the branch where legal aspects of mental illness are studied. In forensic odontology, the knowledge of dentistry is applied for the purpose of identification and bite mark injuries, etc. Forensic anthropology studies different bodily shapes and skeletal formation in legal sense, mostly for the identification purposes. The branch of forensic science is a complementary discipline of forensic medicine, where different non-medical scientists like a biologist or chemist deal with the criminal aspects of crime investigations. There is a strong link between the forensic medical experts and the forensic scientists, as the former collects the evidences during medico legal autopsy or while examination living person, and the latter carries out the test and helps in giving the opinion. Thereby, both these branches, that is forensic medicine and forensic sciences, are complementary to each other. Now, let us see the contemporary prominence. Over the past decades, because of the advancement in technology, knowledge and science, the field of forensic medicine has ventured into more intricate areas like forensic pathology, forensic odontology, forensic traumatology, forensic toxicology, clinical forensic medicine, forensic anthropology, forensic nursing, forensic engineering, ballistics, forensic psychiatry, etc., and is still on its way up. Presently in India as well, teaching of forensic medicine has improved over the years with the establishment and accomplishment of more number of forensic medicine departments in various medical colleges and increase in the number of postgraduate courses, thereby bringing forth many talented and dedicated forensic medicine specialists. I would say that forensic medicine is nothing but an exercise and application of common sense along with the medical knowledge, observation and legal aspects, thereby convincing the medico-legist to come to a conclusion so that he can aid in the just administration of justice. Dear students, as we have completed the chapter on introduction of forensic medicine, let us now know what all other chapters we will be studying in our subsequent learning episodes. Chapter 1 will be the introduction to forensic medicine, that we have already dealt. In chapter 2, we will deal the thanatology, that is the death. Chapter 3 will be the postmortem interval part 1. Chapter 4 again will be the postmortem interval part 2. Postmortem interval will be dealt in 2 chapters, paper chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 5 will be the forensic entomology. Chapter 6 will be the postmortem examination. Chapter 7 will cover the procedure of postmortem examination or the medico legal autopsy. Chapter 8 will deal with the dissection of individual organs and preservation of various viscera during the autopsy. Chapter 9 will be the forensic traumatology, that is the injuries. Chapter 10 we will see the different kind of injuries. So, chapter 10 will be the blunt force injuries, chapter 11 will be the sharp force injuries, chapter 12 will cover the firearm injuries, chapter 13 will deal with the thermal injuries, chapter 14 will be dealing with the electrocution injuries. The chapter 15, 16, 17 and 18 will be having a different kind of entity, that is asphyxial deaths. 15 will specifically deal with the general asphyxial death. Chapter 16 is devoted to hanging. Chapter 17 we will cover strangulation and suffocation. Chapter 18 will be the drowning. Chapter 19 and 20 are related with the sexual offences. In chapter 19 we will cover sexual offences, basically the natural sexual offences, that is rape, etc. And chapter 20 we will cover the unnatural sexual offences along with the sexual perversions. Dear students, let us now conclude this chapter of Introduction to Forensic Medicine. Forensic medicine is the branch of medical science which deals with the application of medical knowledge to aid in the administration of justice, that is medical aspects of law. Medical jurisprudence deals with the legal responsibilities of the physician with particular reference to those arising from doctor-patient relations such as medical negligence, ethical conducts on the part of a doctor, professional misconduct, etc. That is legal aspects of medicine and state medicine. Sometimes even the terminology legal medicine also has been applied while describing forensic medicine in various parts of the world and in our country also. The first medical school was established in Calcutta in 1822, that was later on rehabilitated into a medical college in year 1835. The practice of modern medicine was first regulated by the formation of Provincial Medical Council in 1912, according to which the medical practitioners were required to register themselves in the respective state medical councils. The field of forensic medicine has ventured into more intricate areas like forensic odontology, forensic anthropology, forensic nursing, forensic engineering, ballistics, forensic psychiatry, etc. I would say that forensic medicine is nothing but an exercise and application of medical knowledge, observation and legal aspects along with the common sense so as to aid in the administration of justice. The greatest contribution from India to the world of forensics is dactylography, that is the fingerprinting, which is of immense help in crime investigation. Dear students, with this module of conclusion, our introductory chapter on forensic medicine comes to an end. I am sure you all have understood the central idea behind this chapter. I hope you all have enjoyed this chapter and gained an overview of various sub branches of forensic medicine as well as what important topics we will be learning in this entire paper on forensic medicine. Do keep in mind what we discussed today. I will be back with one more lecture in this series. If you want to learn more and enhance your knowledge, you may log on to our website www.cec.nic.in for MCQ, quizzes, LORs, etc. Make sure you revise the modules frequently so that you master the topic well and take up the exercises. Thank you for your time today. I will see you in the next lecture. Keep learning, work hard and do revise the chapter. Goodbye.